All right, just 3 days left to get started on the Daytona 400, the NASCAR special event to win a new 2020 season car. Yeah, and now I think I have banked up enough motorsport dollars, plus a little extra, because I would like to take advantage of all the, instant R&D on tunings, and there are 28 tunings available, just like all the other motorsports series that we've gone through so far. So, yeah, it's a 5-day event, 5 stages, and you are basically allotted 5 days to complete it. You don't necessarily have to wait between days to complete. And the PR requirement is 50.9. And the cheapest way to get there, you end up with a like 51.1 by getting. So as you can see here, you got 10 on the gearbox and 10 on power unit, 2 on brakes, and then 6 on suspension. So the cheapest way to get basically above the meet the PR requirement, right, is gonna be getting 9 tunings on gearbox, 7 steps on power unit. That's the most expensive one, deals with the acceleration, and obviously you max out the other 2. So it's 9, 7, 2, 6. And let's see, how much does that cost? I believe it costs 1.8 million and 2,900 motorsport dollars. So that's minimum that you kind of need when you're trying to run through this event. And at the beginning, if you do just like normally start, you're going to have 3-hour window to basically instantly service your car and also instant the tuning upgrades. I'll just call it upgrades, instant upgrades, right? And I believe if you want to get full tuning, all the tunings available on this from this tuning setup, it'll cost you like 2.5 million. And right now, I haven't done any so far for 250 available. So by the end of hopefully within the next 3 hours, I will reach 2.5 million. At which point I can get all 28 tunings. I'll probably do that after I win the car though. But for now, when you start, obviously you have to pick a team. There are 7 teams, basically 7 different specs. Base PR or PR is all same across the board. They all start at 43.8 base PR, and PR requirement is all same as well to complete the event, 50.9. So here, let's, since there's really no way to compare the stats amongst these different teams, I suppose you can currently, this week, you know what? Here, let's check into the time trial, because this week's time trial features the 2020 season NASCAR. So we'll compare it right here because you can actually see the team and all the specs. And you know what? Let's go in and change the specs to the proper units, since we're dealing with NASCAR, right? Imperial units, right? So, as I said, the 7 teams available. And for this run, I am planning on using Hendrick Motorsports. This Chevy Camaro has the highest top speed, even amongst other Camaros. So when you're comparing top speed, I feel like with the NASCAR Daytona event, these cars all heavily rely on what would you call it? The momentum, right? So you have to be careful making sure you don't, cause get in any crash, whether you're rear-ending or you're pitting somebody, or you generally want to avoid if you can help it, right? And then, so the weakness of this car is the acceleration is on a slower side, but you know, that's okay, I think, in my opinion. Brakes, there are only two tiers of brake performance in these cars, and this one is not one of the better ones. So out of seven teams, two teams have like a better braking distance. That's the Richard Petty. Where are you? Yeah, there you go. Has the 97 feet for the braking distance, and Chip Ganassi is the other one with the same strong braking performance, but everybody else has a little bit longer, 98 feet right across the board. So that's that, and that's kind of a like least important aspect of these cars anyways. I don't think it really would make that much of a difference. Certainly not for this event, right? And then the grip. Once again, these cars can all go flat out across the ovals. So at least at Daytona, you don't need to brake. In fact, I will probably run majority of this event in tilt A setting just because yeah, you really have no reason to. I mean, maybe just to avoid like crashing, you might tap on brakes here and there, but for the most part, you're not going to be braking much. First two stages, I want to say, of the special event, Daytona 400, we're actually going to be in the road course, if I remember correctly. But majority of the event, you're going to be spending, out in the speedway, the oval section. So that's that. So out of the seven teams, Stu does have the highest grip, but the Mustang, it suffers in the top speed. And acceleration is kind of average. So I think Stu might be one of the more slower car in this year's, the 2020 season. And maybe Joe Gibbs might be another one that's a little bit on a, although it does have a higher top speed. So when you're comparing just the top speed, Hendrick Motorsport comes out on top. So that's most likely what I'll use for this run through. And then tier two, you know what? Hang on just a second. I'm going to just pull up the chart. All right, let's just look at my little handy chart here. So this is how these cars stack up, right? So the top first category, top speed. As I said, Hendrick Motorsport comes out at the top with 184 miles per hour, and then Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry and the Chip Ganassi Racing Chevy Camaro comes out second here, 183 miles per hour, and then remaining teams all come in at 182 miles per hour. So yeah, like Camaro ZL1s have three different top speed depending on the team, right? And then next category, you got acceleration. Richard Childress Camaro has the best acceleration. So that car, but it does have a slower top speed. So, you kind of have to balance things out depending on your, I guess, preference, your style of racing, what you prefer. And then with acceleration, there's quite a bit of a range there. So Richard Childress at the top. And next tier, you got Chip Ganassi, 3.45 seconds. And then the next tier is going to be the Penske Ford Mustang at 3.46 seconds. And then the next tier, we got the Hendrick Motorsports and the Richard Petty. Those are 3.47 seconds. And then one tier further down, you got the Toyota Camry, Joe Gibbs Racing. And then at the bottom, you got the Stu Haas Mustang, which I think is going to be the hardest possibly, or least well suited for the Daytona, just simply because it's got the lower top speed or lowest top speed and also the slowest acceleration. It does have a highest grip, but you don't really need that high of a grip at the oval section. all the teams can grip going flat out, so I feel like that's kind of a moot point. And then the braking distance, yeah, I don't think it'll play that great of a role. And then grip, once again, I think it's somewhat irrelevant in this series. So, okay, there you go. Let's get back to the event screen. All right, so we're not doing the time trial. We're actually gonna make our way through this event. So as I was saying, Hendrick, Motorsport, right? And I will go with William Byron because he's a winner, indeed. I think he won Daytona 400, right? So I'll make him proud. There we go. So setup designed to push your car to the limits of its top speed and acceleration at the expense of its brakes. Right. Yeah. All right. So as I said, 5-day special event, and you get to win the car. Chip McGee, he's supposed to be the team principal. Yeah, right. Fictional character here. So, tier or stage 1, we just have 3 goals. So, and it's going to be at the road course. So, I think you just have to finish, and we'll get the step 1 tunings going because it'll take some time. And for stage 1 completion, you don't need any tuning at all. There's no PR requirement, but stage 2, you are going to have to put some tuning on the car. So get started and actually set up those 4 first step tunings. Will get your car's PR high enough to meet the PR requirement to get past stage 2. But if I remember correctly, because I've already ran through this event on my other account, I didn't make a video on that one. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, stage 3. You need to put more tunings on the car. Like there are gonna be goals mid-stage where you have to put more tunings on the car in order to get through some of the challenges, just simply because they're like one where you have to overtake 10 cars, and in the speedway section you're going pretty much flat out from the beginning. And if you don't have more tunings, if you're running with just what's barely, bare minimum, just meeting the PR requirement to get through those, you're not gonna make it. So pretty much I would say stage 2 on, I will probably put all the necessary tuning to actually complete the full event. So putting on, gosh, how many tunings is that? Was it like 7 or 9, 7, 2, 6? So that is just missing 4 tunings out of 28 needed. So 24 tunings I will be just putting on fairly early on in the event, just because I already know some of these events are just going to be impossible to get past with the running bare minimum in this case. So something to keep in mind. Right. All right. Add a few more driver XP there. All right, keep them coming. 1 goal down. don't need to tell you this, but going to stand chance in the actual race, need to master the art of drafting. All right, so stage or goal 2 is just draft behind. Just draft the first car you see. That's really all you need. And the distance they're giving us in metric is a little bit more straightforward than the Imperial unit, 4374 yard. Where are they? At least we get a counter, so we don't have to remember that weird number. So I'll just draft behind Hamlin, the first guy I see, since this one goals complete as soon as you fill up that drafting distance counter. Like that. So nice and short event, or nice and short goal. Under 27 seconds. The kind that I like. Especially for these early on challenges, right? And you get credited for a full lap. Look at that. Like that rate of earning here. So, all right. 2 goals down. 1 more to complete the stage 1 where there's, I want to say 5 gold. All right. And need to make 5 overtakes. Once again, still in the road course. And here we go. Starting out in the outer rim, so it's going to take a little bit of time to catch up to 5 opponents that we need to overtake. At least that's my guess. Okay, 1 little bit of a contact there, and then I see 4 cars up ahead. I'll go on the outside, 2, 3, and then draft a little bit. Give me a push, or tug me in. Come on, Byron, you can do it. I suppose we'll have to stretch this out into the first corner coming up right here. And there we go, 5 overtakes. Right on. 57 seconds and change. That's all right. 193 driver XP gained. And 10,450 motorsport dollars added for that effort to today's earning. All right, so let's continue on here. And I guess that's the end of stage 1. So let's collect our earning. So some free gold to be earned here, even if you don't like NASCAR. And 10,000 motorsport dollars. All right. Yeah, 5 free gold for 3 very, very short challenges. How about it? All right. Bit more practice and I think you'll be ready to hit the speedway. So yeah, we get 2 stages in the road course. Ready for another round of Chip Mickey's boot camp. Right. So bit more practice I want to get through while we've got access to the road course. All right, so, well, we'll pick up on the stage 2 in the next video. So stay tuned and we'll catch you guys in stage 2 right back here.